Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time clicking on my videos, my name is Delaney and welcome. Like and subscribe for more gaming content. But yes, so we are at the end of the year. I hope everyone had a wonderful holiday. I want to talk about some of my favorite games that released this year that I got to play, and I want to reserve it mostly for that, for 2022 releases. But I am going to do some honorable mentions of ones that I played that weren't created this year. But yeah, let's get started. So for honorable mentions, I'm going to talk about Final Fantasy X, which I have been playing a lot this year. I was playing it last year, but then my save got deleted. So I ended up playing it, starting it over this year, and I've been having so much fun playing it. And the remastered version is just so great to have, like the graphic quality and just like getting the old school JRPG feel, which is what I've been really enjoying. And the storyline has been so great. I'm like pretty close to the end. I think I have about 70 hours in it, but I feel like it was one of the games I spent the most time in this year, because I can get really lost in going to like playing the different areas and just like trying to get through the bosses. It has been a lot of fun, especially when it comes to like strategizing, and especially when I have to like look at message boards to find like the right way to defeat a boss. But yeah, that's an honorable mention. And another one I want to mention, which actually came out this year, is Xenoblade Chronicles 3. So I have played a few hours into Xenoblade Chronicles, and I really do. I haven't gotten to play the rest of the series, but I really did like the storyline of Xenoblade Chronicles 3, or like the beginnings of it. I feel like I haven't gotten deeper enough into it to try to put it on my list, because background I feel like I'm missing. I really haven't, like, I enjoyed the time that I played with it, but I do want to pick it back up after I finish Final Fantasy, is what my thinking is. But yeah, I'm gonna put those two as honorable mention. Now I'm gonna get started with my list. I have a list of 6 that I was able to decide were games that I kind of couldn't put down, or mostly like deciding like how much fun I had with it. Just one of those games you just lose yourself into. So that's kind of how I wanted to rank my games. So for number 6 on my list is Cult of the Lamb. And so Cult of the Lamb came out in the second half of the year. It was, I want to say it probably was one of the biggest indie sleeper hits, because it sold over 1 million copies in 1 week, and that is pretty amazing for this game, because I barely heard anything about it until I started seeing maybe little bits and pieces of gameplay. So Cult of the Lamb, you play this little lamb. He's the last of the lamb species, and he's about to be sacrificed. But then this mysterious god basically revives him and then tells him to start a cult in his name, in their name. So you get to start this cult, and it's kind of like a mixture between a roguelike and farming sim, life sim, perhaps. The creators wanted to kind of mix together all these things they loved about games in one. I think it does it so well, because there are aspects where you have to care for your cult, which means that you go out on runs. Basically, you fight through these different areas to collect things to bring back to your cult, like things for farming, materials to be able to build up your cult, and also to get money to buy things. Also, along the way is like fighting these 4 different gods who are against the god that revived you. Like, there's like a nice balance between the two, because so you have to care for your cult. So when you go out on the runs, the longer you stay away on like the dungeon crawls that you decide to do, the less like your faith your cult will have, or may start to spread rumors and try to gain people around, like the rest of the cult members, to go with them and leave the cult. And it's like such a nice mixture. It's so funny to me at the same time, and kind of dark. Like, it's like a dark, I want to say like a dark comedy, but also cozy, and just like all around, like I really found it so much fun to play. Next on the list is Disney Dreamlight Valley, and Disney Dreamlight Valley released on early release this year. And I did, when it first released, I wasn't able to play it like I wanted to since I was moving, and I didn't get the chance to get deeper into the story and everything, but I did enjoy what I played so far. But I've actually been recently picking it back up and playing some more, and I'm really enjoying it, especially with all the Disney characters. So if you love Disney and you love life sims like Animal Crossing or even like Stardew Valley-ish, you'd love this game. So basically you get to come into the valley, Dreamlight Valley, which is overrun by these night thorns, and you are the only one who's able to get rid of the night thorns and have some of the Disney characters that are still there to get rid of their forgetting, which is something that came over the valley and has been like a dark cloud. So basically a lot of the villagers left, like, which was a lot of Disney characters, and you have to go through these different, like, go to their worlds to bring them back to the valley. So I've been really enjoying that aspect. So far I have, let's see, I have Moana, Remy, and Wally. I forgot Wally. But yeah, I've really been enjoying it, especially when it comes to just like interact with the Disney characters, because it's kind of like going on a trip to Disney World where you get to see all the characters and see them in their like environments, and like, you know, talk to them and learn more about them. So like I especially love how the dialogue is when it comes to working with each character, because like they are very good with like keeping in line with their story and like giving you extra tidbits about themselves. I would have to say that I feel like this could be kind of better than Animal Crossing, but mostly because I feel like this game is everything that you wanted in Animal Crossing when it first started, which was you get to farm, you get to hang out with all these different Disney characters or like the villagers, and you get to cook and customize the valley and like you have your own spin on it. And I just think that it's really something really nice that's easy to pick up and just like could decide to complete a task. And it's really cool how they do like the friendship leveling up with each character in the valley. And I just think it's so like it kind of gives an extra added depth to it. And even though it's early access, I do feel like it still has been constantly getting a lot of updates, and I can't wait to see how it is when it finally like fully releases, which will be like next year, where it'll be free to play. So number 4 on my list is Pokémon Violet, one of my top favorite game releases this year, because there's just so much to do and I just really like enjoy the storylines that I've gone through so far. Gameplay, even though at first I wasn't sure about how it compared to Arceus when it came to like the Pokemon hunting, I still really enjoy it. Like I've gotten really used to it, and I just think that it's so freeing and so different from any other Pokemon game that's released aside from Arceus. Next on the list, and I had to have a story, any type of story thing, even though I haven't played a lot of Tome games this year, but this one isn't a Tome game. It's called Beacon Pines, and Beacon Pines is actually a game I've rarely actually heard about. I feel like it could be considered an underrated indie game. So it released, I believe, at like second half of the year as well. I like sped through it so much, and I had so much fun playing it. So basically Beacon Pines, it kind of reminded me of a mixture of like Stranger Things and storybook animals. So basically you play you are in this town of Beacon Pines, and you are able to go through the story of mysterious secrets that are hidden in Beacon Pines and trying to figure out what's happening behind the scenes at this like abandoned fertilizer plant. It's like how it starts out, but it's so unique and interesting as a story element, because basically you get to collect these different words to insert into the story, and that changes the outcome of how the story turns out until you're able to get the right ending, or like the best ending that you can find. So the more you go into the story, the more words you find, so you can go back to the story branches and then find a better ending or get closer to the ending. And I think that it was really good when it came to the pacing, because it can get a little slightly repetitive when it comes to like putting the words back into the story and going through the different storylines. But I think that it didn't over tire itself out. Like each time I got a new word and was able to find like a new branch to the story, I wanted more to learn more and like be able to find more words, and which wasn't very difficult to do. But I think it's such a clever game. And I love all of the characters, and like the whole town in itself was just so charming, and the illustration is so beautiful. And I just love that it's like kind of like a story adventure, because it's like a little bit interactive when it comes to how you get to walk around to the different areas and get to know more about the people in the town. And I just really enjoyed it, so I would put it at my number 3. Next, and this was probably one of my biggest anticipated games of this year, which is Kirby in the Forgotten Lands. So I have been wanting a Kirby game on the Switch for a while. I even went back to play some of the 3DS ones, but this was like a new 3D platformer adventure for Kirby, which he rarely had. I don't think he's had. I think this is actually his first 3D platformer, and I think that they really did so good with this one. It was one of those games that always was able to give me a pick-me-up. It was like so nice going through each level and discovering the new things you can find, like finding the Waddle Dees and then like rebuilding Waddle Dee town. Like I really enjoyed that aspect. And then there's also just like how clever the puzzles are, where you can use the Kirby mouthful mode to be able to like interact more with how each platform works with the Kirby mouthful mode. And it did really well, and this one I was actually able to play to the very end, and even like to the final battle. It was just so epic and so fun, and it just kind of reminded me a little bit of Super Mario Odyssey. But I really enjoyed it, and I thought that this was it was so beautifully done, and definitely one of my favorites. I just wish that it was longer, because I mean I can still go back and play to find more of the Waddle Dees in some of the levels, because it was maybe about 10 hours or so of gameplay. But other than that, I had so much fun playing this game, and I hope they do more Kirby 3D platformer games. So I hope there's more down the line for this one. Let's get to my last game, but actually I do have like an honorable mention when it comes to my first place. I kind of would want to put it first, but I feel like it would go right under this one. So the honorable mention I want to say is Rune Factory 5. I never played the Rune Factory game, but I really found it so charming, and I really love the illustrations and the characters, and it's just like the nice mixture of like the farming and the adventure RPG. So I think it balances it out really nicely. So I've actually been playing it a lot more now too as well. So I played a bit when it first came out, and even though I didn't get super, like there's so many intricate things when it comes to playing. So I definitely recommend that you do a lot of research when you're playing, because I'm still learning a lot of new things when it comes to just like growing crops and monster hunting and going out to the dungeon crawls and just like finding the right cooking methods and things like that. But I think it has so many cool elements to it that makes it really addicting. The one thing I do wish is that I could customize my character, but other than that, I really enjoyed it, and I'm still like enjoying being able to get to know the other characters in the town, and just like every day waking up and trying to decide what I want to do for the day. I think that's probably like the most like refreshing, like the most nice thing is waking up and like, okay, how am I gonna farm? Am I gonna decide to go out and do some dungeon crawling and collecting materials? And I kind of just love that aspect of it. So yeah, for my final game, Pokemon Legends Arceus. So I really adore this game. It came out at the beginning of this year, and it was like all I could play at first, because yeah, I just love it so much. First, I thought it was really different and refreshing. Even though I said that about Pokémon Violet, I feel like this one has like its own area of Pokemon games. So like the Pokemon hunting was just so different, and I really love the real time, like throwing the Pokeballs and catching Pokemon, and then all the different types that you could find, and even like the alpha type Pokemon you could fight. And I just really think it was so calming and enjoyable, and even the storyline was good. I thought that this game was so ambitious for what it wanted to do with the Pokemon games, and it's actually it's gonna be something that I always think about when any new Pokemon game comes out, because just the mechanics and the gameplay is just so fun. And I just I thought it was so great, and I still think about it, and I still like even listening to the music. It just gives me like this really happy feeling, you know. So that's probably it was one of the games that I played the most as well this year. Especially just trying to make sure to like get through the storyline and catching as much Pokemon as I could and getting my team together. Like I just had a lot of fun with that, and it's something that I feel like I want to revisit still, even after playing Violet, because there's just still so much to do after the game, when it comes to like the Pokemon hunting and even just like finishing up the quest of the townspeople. It was so great. So what is your favorite game this year that released, or even favorite game that you played? Because I mean, we still have a backlog, like I always say, so there's still some of those games that you pick up and it just is something that you can't put down. So what was your favorite game to play this year? And let me know down in the comments, because I always like to hear from you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and yeah, until I'm pretty sure I'm gonna do another video before this one, but if not, until next year. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching as always, and bye.